another Aligner Insider podcast.
Hello, everybody in computer land. I'm Dr. Barry Glaser, and I'm excited to have as my guest Matt Ray from Merchant Cost Consulting. So, Matt and I have worked together. Matt, I've used Matt's services. Um, Nice to have you here, Matt. And Matt's my best friend, my new best friend, because he saved me a ton of money, probably at least 10,000, maybe even more, $10,000 a year by negotiating with my current credit card processor to lower my fees. So I think that I want people to understand what an easy, simple, and risk-free process this is. So let's go step in the time machine, Matt, and let's just go back in time to the first time that I called you, and just just talk about this process and how easy it was. So I called you up and I said, hey, I heard about you. What do we do from here?
Yeah, so I appreciate obviously you having me on the podcast. Love it. Love you and Dean. It's been a great pleasure to be interviewed by you guys. But to start with the process, I think you heard about me through Mary's List, right?
I did. Yes.
So you're in the group. I'm sure it was something new to everyone to hear, right? Because we are not a credit card processing company. We had a conversation about, well, how does this all work? I think one of the bigger questions you probably asked me was, well, if you're not a credit card processing company, what are you supposed to be doing for me? And how is it benefiting my practice? And what do I have to do as a doctor to make this all work, right?
Right.
Um, and the most simple answer to give is that you don't have to do much. Send a few emails, takes about 5 to 10 minutes out of your day, and we're able to actually negotiate the pricing with your credit card processor to reduce the fees that they charge you on a month-to-month basis.
So at this point, I thought to myself, my phone rings every day with someone who's going to, quote unquote, save me money. And so my first question to you is, all right, what's the catch? So I don't have to pay you any fees because I was expecting that you were going to say, well, it's going to be a $500 fee for us to do the investigation and blah, blah, blah. And you come back and you tell me the following. What did you
So
tell me?
there's a free audit, right? What we'll do for you is we'll look at your merchant statements, the current state of them, and give you our savings estimate of what we can actually reduce your fees down to, how much you'll save on a monthly basis and an annual basis, right? If you want to move forward, you have the option of hiring us and actually doing those negotiations to make that come to fruition. The savings come to fruition. How we're compensated for work, there is no catch, right? There's no cost to the service, so to speak. You don't have to pay us a retainer or a consulting wage. It's strictly if we are successful in negotiating with your practice, uh, management system, and credit card processing company that you agree to share the savings that we have achieved your practice. That is it. That is the only way we are compensated. So understand that the more we save your practice, selfishly, the more money we make, but also the more money you save, right? That's where we are aligned and how the process works. We also then audit your statements every month after to make sure there are no rate increases, billing errors, additional fees added to your account, and that your account's in good standing. You know, I'm sure anyone who actually has looked at these things can attest to the different crazy fees that are on there every month. Um, and that's what we do in a nutshell, right? And we send you a report every month that showcases that so you can track how much you saved, where the savings are coming from, and obviously what your new pricing is after we've successfully negotiated the price.
Right. So then I said to, I've been down this road before, and you got to get all the new equipment and the whole PCI, and you got to hook it up to your computer, and it never works, and you're on the phone with technical support, and then it's not going to integrate with my software. So I just and then my staff wants to tar and feather me on top of it because, we're
Right,
making all these
right.
changes. So I was like, well, great, but now I'm going to get all this new equipment in. I'm going to have to get a new swiper and all this other nonsense. And you told me,
That is incorrect. You don't have to change a single thing. You keep with whatever you have is already in place. It stays the exact same. There's no needing to teach your employees how to use new equipment, how to enter the credit card information, or use the software. Your day-to-day operations, there will not be a misstep. It all stays the same. We simply negotiate with what you have. That way you don't have to change anything. There's no time out of your day to actually go and switch up what you do, which is the beauty of the service, right? You don't have to have I guess I should say that The difference between us and a credit card processing company is, yes, to your point, Barry, they're calling you because they say, oh, we can save you all this money,
Right.
but you have to switch. You have
Right.
to change what you have. And you don't have to do that to actually get a significant amount of savings for
Yeah,
your credit.
and I have to tell you that it was that easy. I mean, it was a couple. I had to fax you over, or I probably just scanned it and emailed you over a statement so that you could see what was what. It was probably 3 or 4 or 5 emails, maybe half a dozen at the most that I had to send. The whole process took maybe 10 business days, and maybe we even got it done in a week. But it was that easy, and then and it was like, but it was, what's crazy too, man. So I remember at the end when you know these BS fees, I like to call them, this like nonsense fee that you said, oh Barry, they should just take that one off. And I thought to myself, they're not going to take it off. And you said, just send them an email and just say these words. And I sent the email that, I copied and pasted what you wanted me to say. And I got a response back. And by the way, the responses came back usually within the hour. I think that these companies, as much as they think they got you by the, by the, whats,
Yeah, they
they
know.
don't want to lose your business either.
Yep.
And because whoever's on that terminal, if they lose a customer, that's probably their neck. So I got a response in an hour, and they were like, done. And I just couldn't believe it. They were just like that. It was like, again, it was probably $50 a month, just like that. And then, and the savings went on and on. So it was really, for those listening, it was really everything that this man says is exactly the process. I never had to, pay anything. There was no, it was just a pleasure. He's a really genuine guy. He's a straight shooter. He's honest, and he does what he says. And then that, by the way, it's also why you're on Mary's list. And I think that made me feel more comfortable, because I know Mary, and she seriously vets all people that come onto that group before she allows them to be, a preferred, provider. So if it was good enough for Mary, it was definitely good enough for me, and certainly I wasn't disappointed. So I really appreciate all your help, and just it was just an easy process. Like I said, it was just a couple of keystrokes, and I saved
Yeah,
money.
we
It's
appreciate that. I
magic.
mean, yeah, right. It is. Yeah, I wish. I mean,
Poof, yeah,
I,
it's like if he waved his wand, and I saved money. So it was a great process.
I
Anything
wish.
else that you want to leave for, let's say, maybe the skeptical orthodontist out there that's listening? Anything else that you think that you could say to them to put their minds at ease?
Yeah, I wish I could tell them. You know, I wish our service was a lot sexier than it actually is. Right. And it's just not. It's very black and white. It can cut your costs, save you money if that is your goal. Um, that's what we do. Like there's no, you make a joke about, waving the magic wand or it's magic. It's like, I wish I could give you something more to where you could be more skeptical, but I can't tell you how much of it's so black and white and straightforward. That's it. I mean, that's literally what we do. And some people are like, this is a thing. Like this type of service exists in this world. And the answer is yes. It's actually, more prominent than some might think. But um, as far as some skeptical doctors out there, I mean, why don't you just do a free audit? It doesn't cost you anything. You'll be able to see how much you can save. And if the savings don't meet your expectation of something that you want to pursue, then don't. What risk are you putting up to you or your practice, right?
Yeah, it's
Um,
well said.
that's what I would
It's
say.
Yeah, Matt, for a young guy, you're an old soul, and it's kind of like old-fashioned business, which doesn't really exist, like this anymore. But again, I can't. I give Matt's company, Merchant Cost Consulting, my highest recommendation. You must call him, Matt. What's the best way to get in touch with you today, right now?
For fellow followers of Barry, I give out my cell phone, and you can actually reach me at 781-234-4570. And I'll say that again, my cell phone. For only followers of Barry, 781-234-4570. And I'm on the East Coast. So for all the West Coast doctors that are listening, I don't want any phone calls at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. on a Friday when I'm having a glass of wine. But anytime other than that, shoot me a text, give me a call, or if you don't feel comfortable, shoot me an email. Matt at merchantcostconsulting.com. Very easy to find us. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
And your website address?
It's just merchantcostconsulting.com. I know it's a mouthful, but straightforward. You can find us. You can look at our reviews online, testimonials, etc. So yeah, you can go to the URL, check out more info if you guys have questions.
Matt, it's always a pleasure talking with you. I'm looking forward to hopefully soon. I don't think I'll make it to the AAO in Boston, but hopefully soon we'll be able to get a beer in person. I know that you're planning actually on being at some of the regional shows. So where can people talk to you face to face over the
Yeah,
next? It's actually exciting. I haven't had this conversation in a year
I
with
know.
anybody about, where
I
can we see
know.
you in person? So where are you going to be?
So we are heading to AAO. We'll be there in Boston. Our company's in Boston, so it's right down the street. Um, we're actually sponsored by them as well, so we'll have a booth set up. Come by and say hi. If you have any questions, happy to answer them in person. But we're also attending Ortho Pearls. They're doing a big conference towards the end of the year. I believe that's at Mall of America in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow, okay.
Um, so we'll be there, and then Orthopreneurs is having another conference as well, and I think that's in Denver in October. Don't I got to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's in October. And
Good, good.
if you guys are on the circuit, or any of the listeners are on the circuit, happy to say hello. So
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to having maybe more than one beer and hearing some of your war
yep,
stories. But again, I can't thank you enough. It's really it's refreshing to deal with a company like yours, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
I
So
appreciate
again,
it, Barry.
everybody, make that call to Matt and save yourself some money. And with that, I'll sign off, and we'll see everybody soon. Bye
Have a good
bye.
one. Thanks.